It all began on the night of August 12, 1961. The city of Berlin, Germany, was divided into two parts: East Berlin, controlled by the Soviet Union, and West Berlin, which was surrounded by East Germany but remained a free city under the control of the Allies. Before the wall, Berlin was a city where people could freely move between the two sides. Families lived in one part, friends in another, and life was relatively open. But that all changed when the East German government, supported by the Soviet Union, decided to build a wall to stop the growing number of people fleeing East Berlin for the freedoms of the West. But the Berlin Wall was more than just a division. It was a symbol of the Cold War, a time when the world was split between communist and capitalist ideologies. On one side stood the Soviet-backed East, where the government controlled nearly every aspect of life. On the other side, the West remained free and democratic. The wall was a way for East Germany to prevent its citizens from escaping to the West in search of a better life. East Berlin became the capital of East Germany, and West Berlin, though surrounded by East Germany, was a symbol of freedom. The wall cut right through the city, splitting neighborhoods, schools, and workplaces. Families were separated, and for many, this was a permanent divide. Meanwhile, the world watched. In 1963, President John F. Kennedy visited West Berlin and declared, "Ich bin ein Berliner," meaning, "I am a Berliner." This famous speech showed the solidarity of the United States with the people of West Berlin who were living in the shadow of the wall. For many, this moment was a beacon of hope in a divided world. But by the 1980s, the situation in East Germany was changing. The world around them was shifting. The Soviet Union, under leader Mikhail Gorbachev, was undergoing reforms, including glasnost, or openness, and perestroika, or restructuring. Gorbachev's policies of openness began to reach East Germany, where protests for change were growing louder. In a moment of confusion and miscommunication, the East German government said that travel restrictions to West Germany were being lifted. The announcement was unclear, and people flooded to the wall, hoping to cross. Border guards, unprepared for the overwhelming crowds, opened the gates. But before this, there had already been powerful calls for the wall's fall. In 1987, U.S. President Ronald Reagan gave a historic speech at the Brandenburg Gate, urging, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall." Reagan's words echoed the growing desire for freedom, and they set the stage for what would come just 2 years later. The fall of the Berlin Wall didn't just mark the end of a barrier between two parts of a city. It marked the end of an era. Germany was reunified, and the wall, which had divided families and countries for so long, was no more. What followed was a wave of joy, hope, and a newfound sense of unity. Today, pieces of the Berlin Wall remain on display as a reminder of the past. They stand as symbols of the power of perseverance, the desire for freedom, and the possibility of change. The Berlin Wall's fall showed us that no matter how strong or tall the barriers seem, they can always be torn down by the will of the people. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more content.